Next game, the Ravens beat the crap out of the Seahawks 37-3. Geno Smith, 13-28, 157 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. Drop him if you got him. I think that's a really safe drop. He is clearly regressing from where he was last year. Maybe it's time for him to write back. We'll just have to continue watching that as he plays worse defenses in this because the Ravens' defense is really good. So I wouldn't outright assume that Geno is complete garbage, but he's not going to be what he was last year when he was getting us top 10 quarterback production. Kenneth Walker, 9 carries for 16 yards. Zach Charbonnet had 4 carries for 8. Really disappointing stuff here from the running backs. I still think you're playing Ken Walker every single week. Zach Charbonnet getting more carries is definitely notable, though. So if you have a spot to stash Charbonnet, I think he's a better stash than he is play because I still expect Kenneth Walker to be the clear RB1 in this backfield for the rest of the season. Jaxon Smith-Njigba was the leading receiver here. Really surprising stuff. 6 catches, 63 yards on 7 targets. This is what happens when quarterbacks feel a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of tight end, a lot of slot receiver. Jaxon Smith, if they're playing a good defense, the Seahawks are, playing Jaxon Smith-Njigba, there are worse ideas than that. Don't lock him into a spot, but definitely keep him in mind if you're trying to make some lineup decisions. DK Metcalf, just the 1 catch for 50 yards on 4 targets. Super disappointing stuff here. I still think he's a decent floor play, but this certainly isn't good. And Geno Smith, struggling like he is not helping his case whatsoever. Tyler Lockett, 3 catches for 32 yards on 8 targets. Interesting to see him leading the team in targets, but still. Just Tyler Lockett, more of a floor play. Maybe he'll get you a spike week, but that's kind of what you're banking on. Am I getting, he's not total Mike Williams, Rashid Shaheed, even George Pickens now, where, he could get you absolute 0. But he can get you a lot of games where he gets you 5, and then he'll have some games where he gets you 20. Colby Parkinson had a catch for 6. Zach Charbonnet just a catch for 5. It'll be interesting to see if he gets more passing game usage going forward. Kenneth Walker just had the 1 catch for 1, and Will Dissly and Noah Fant did not haul in either of their targets. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson was 21-26, 187 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He also had 10 carries for 60 yards. He has been the definition of good real-life quarterback, frustrating fantasy play. Still, there are worse options than playing him every single week. It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes isn't going to get you QB1 stuff. Lamar probably isn't going to get you QB1 stuff. But they're just solid all around every single week play. So don't get too frustrated just because they aren't giving you QB1 sort of stuff. Tyler Huntley came in with the blowout, 5 of 7 for 38 yards and a touchdown. He is going to be a solid play if Lamar Jackson misses. Keaton Mitchell led the way for all rushers. 9 carries, 138 yards and a touchdown. He got a lot of run once this game got out of hand. Gus Edwards, 5 carries for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Justice Hill, 13 carries for 40 yards. Here is the issue. Gus Edwards was getting all the run at the beginning of the game, and once it got out of hand, they gave it to Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell is clearly the most explosive option they have in this backfield. I would not be playing Justice Hill at all if I were the Ravens, but they keep playing, they've given Justice Hill opportunities over Gus Edwards in the past. They haven't really recently, but 13 carries in this one. He led the team in carries. I wonder if they start to give Keaton Mitchell some more touches because Mitchell absolutely showed that he's deserving of it. I think Gus Edwards is really solid as a goal line play, but Keaton Mitchell, he can really add up yards, so he is absolutely a priority add. He will be on the ads list for sure, and Justice Hill, I think he is a drop. Maybe hang on to him if you have a spot just because they're giving him volume, but at the same time, if I were the Ravens, I would definitely be giving the ball to Keaton Mitchell much more than they had before this game. Mark Andrews, 9 catches, 80 yards on 10 targets, a clear must start every single week. Odell Beckham, 5 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown, continuing this trend of throw a sideline tantrum, you get the ball more as a receiver this year. Really annoying, but especially if you're a Zay Flowers manager. But you could add Odell, see if this continues, but I just don't think this is going to be a consistent production sort of thing. Isaiah Likely, 4 catches, 42 yards. Interesting to see him getting some notable production with Mark Andrews in the lineup. Rashod Bateman, 3 catches for 28 yards on 5 targets. Zay Flowers, 1 target, 1 catch, 11 yards. Don't drop him. He is a hold. Don't play him next week either. This is really weird stuff. Let's give it another week to see what happens when this game isn't a total blowout. Because I still think Zay Flowers could be the number one receiver here, but these last few weeks have been super disappointing. So I wouldn't say he's an outright drop, but he's definitely trending that way. Devin Duvernay, 2 catches, 10 yards, 2 targets. Nelson Aguilar had a catch for 2 yards. Justice Hill had a catch, or didn't haul in his only target. And Keaton Mitchell, I expect there to be more targets in his future. Just the 1 catch for -4 yards in this one.